Morning guys, Slippery Triathlete again today this morning. It's another great day in Queensland. Really good. It's getting really good, like some really great days getting along. It's training wise, and it's saying, in the middle of winter, it's great. So, minimums are like 12, tops of just a bit over 20. Really good days. This morning, I had a good friend of mine. He's doing his first half marathon. And he was sort of just sketching me for a few tips and whatnot on nutrition and training and what type of runs he should be doing and whatnot. So I thought I'd put something together for everyone, including himself. I mean, I helped him out, but I thought I'd put something together. Now, this is very basic information. It's a little bit different to half Ironman information. But still it'll work across the board with everything. So it's basically how to taper, what sort of nutrition you're going to be using, even something like mineral loading. People sort of go, mineral loading? What's that? Everyone's heard of carb loading for an event, but mineral loading is a bit different. So I'll quickly go through it. I'll break it down into proper chunks in separate videos because there's so much involved in each and every one of them because it's just too big to cover. But anyway, so let's start with tapering. So tapering is basically wanting off your training leading into the event, so you're fresh, ready to go, not worn out from your normal rigorous training. Give the body a little bit of a break and over a few days or even a week. Ironman's usually about a week, but with half marathon, we could probably take about 3 to 4 days to slowly wind back your training. So keep maybe the intensity there, but let's pull back the kilometers. So if you're running up to, let's say, 15 kilometers at the moment, you could quite happily come back to probably about half of that. And you could break it into smaller chunks. So you could maybe run at race pace for a small fraction of it. So let's say, maybe 3/4 of your run at race pace, and then the last little bit you could probably wind it back off a little bit to actually a slower rate. So, a nice warm up, a nice cool down, some light stretching, that type of thing. So 3 to 4 days out, even a week if you really wanted to. If it's been your first half, I'd probably go even the week as a stretch to actually get that taper down. So just wind back the intensity, wind back the volume, and as you come closer and closer to race day, you'll find you're feeling fresher, ready to race, ready to go. Up to you whether you want the day off beforehand or if you want to go for a light walk. I like to take the day off before a race just to make sure I've got everything ready to go. Also gives a bit of the brain to reset. You're not thinking about what I have to do in that training zone session. Wow, I like using zones. Yeah, anyway. So that's taper in a nutshell. We'll go further into that later on. Nutrition. Okay, so let's go with mineral loading. Mineral loading is, and you go, what is mineral loading? So this is, your electrolytes, your 4 electrolytes: mags, calcium, sodium, and potassium. Now they're the little guys that actually help that muscle fire when you're running. So what I like to do is I like to get a good product, and I've got a few of them that I recommend. I'm not going to go into that either just at the moment, but they should be taken the same type of timing. So 3 to 4 days out, if we're talking our scenario now, and we take them twice a day. So most of the ones I use are powders. So all that does is it pushes our electrolytes up, our core minerals up to a point that saturates our body in preparation for when we're actually going to sweat these things out on race day. Now you're going to say, I can get that out of food. Yes, you can. Now, leaning towards loading, a lot of people do a thing called carb loading. Now, again, another big subject, and I'm not going to say I don't like. You've got to approach it a little bit different to just carbs, So if you're going to go and hit Macca's and go for the chippies, that's not carb loading. So I tend to stay away from that carb loading or high amounts of carb loading in that phase from that raw carb food. So I tend to tell people to keep their diet fairly steady. Don't change it too much because you don't want to get the stomach angry. And if you're putting things into your system, you're thinking, I need this for my race. Sometimes you're going to find that things are going to upset the stomach. So you're going to have an upset stomach, an upset system before you go into a race, which you don't want. So I tend to tell people to stay on your diet that you're doing at the moment. So don't hinder it at all. twice a day, we get these minerals into our system. Like I said, it saturates the body, gets us all prepped, ready to go for race day. So preparation for the amount you're going to sweat out. Now, in saying that, on the day you're going to sweat and you're still going to have to replace electrolytes. So it's not the be all and end all of actually, oh, that's the fix. It's not. It's you know, it's something you can do to help you through the day, to make you feel topped up and ready to go, like a full charged battery. Thirdly, nutrition for the course or nutrition for the day. By now, you probably want to go and pick, if you're going to use gels, if you're going to use bars, if you're going to use whatever you feel is comfortable, test it first. So I think the race for my friend is a few weeks out still. I think about 3 or 4 weeks out. So at this stage, I'll be testing if he's going to use a gel. Go and grab a few gels that you think you're going to be comfortable with. Probably not too high in caffeine. Caffeine tends to dehydrate our systems, and we don't want that happening on top of your already dehydration. Yes, they're a stimulant. Probably you could use them if you really wanted to use caffeine towards the end of the race to give you that little bit of a pep to push you across the finish line. So find your gel, find your product that you're going to use, test it now. Go out, run with it. Use it before you actually train. So maybe 20 minutes before you go and run, you have a gel, a little bit of water to wash it down. Go and run at your pace you're going to think you're going to be running your race at. How do I feel? Is my gut fine? Is my head fine? Is my body fine? If you've got thumbs up on all those, then you're pretty much right to go ahead with it. Now, of course, you're going to have the nerves in your system before the race, so things aren't going to be really settled in the stomach anyway. So at least you've got one thing nailed that you know you're going to be fine with. Race fuel throughout the race. So we're talking half marathon here. So look, I'm going to be gathering. My mate's going to be finishing around about 2 hours. 152 hours. So we'll see how he goes. Up to him whether he wants to take a gel or not with him. It's probably good insurance just to have 1 or 2 sitting in your belt or in your pocket or something like that, just in case something goes wrong, and you can rely on that to give you a little bit of more of a pep. So, you know, if he gets halfway through the race and he's going, oh, I'm starting to really feel this, maybe have half the gel, just toss the other one in the bin, have a little bit of water, not too much, and that way you'll find that it can just get you through the race if you needed to. Some people don't take anything, they'll just go and take the gel or take nothing at all and just go straight to the race, just having the water on the side, drinking the water. Now, if you've got electrolytes on hand in the race, some races do, some don't, by all means grab those and use those on the course. There's a little trick to those too, and I'm just going to grab my cup, I'll show you. So most of the time on aid stations you'll have these little critters, and God love them, the aid station attendants, they do a great job, but they'll fill the cup up to almost full these things. Now when you grab hold of it running past, no doubt it goes down the front. So what I do, and a little tip for you, as you're coming into the aid station, don't feel bad if you have to walk into the aid station, get your nutrition, walk out and then continue to run. Some people are really good at it. They can run in, grab it, run out. You know, they're awesome. So if you're not comfortable doing that and you think you're going to spill it, grab your cup, tip half of it out. So we're talking mouthful to mouthful and a half, right? And then what we do, we squeeze him, right? And then that way we can actually get the water through a small funnel. Oh, sorry, I should say it that way so you can see what's going on. All right, now that small funnel makes it a lot easier to get into the gob. But if you've got it like that, more likely if you're starting to run back into your stride or your pace, that's going to go down all the way in front of you. Now, if it's electrolyte and it's sticky, you're going to end up with a bit of a mess. All right, so tip from Slippery, been there, done that, worked it out, know what I'm doing. So take that and run with it. Yeah, literally. So 3 tips. All right, so you've got it. So if not, rewind, go back and do it again. Check it all out. Make sure you're comfortable with it. I wish my mate best of luck with his race. Should be a cracker. So we've got a few mates around him that are doing it. So it should be fun. I'd like to be in there with you, but busy. You know what it's like. Anyway, take care. Like I said, if you didn't get any of that, rewind, go through it again, and all the best for your half marathon race. Thanks, guys. See ya.